Thank you everybody who has signed in already. Again, please name and library in the chat so I can take attendance later. And I know we say this all the time, but this one should actually be a pretty short meeting. So, okay, it is 11:02. Hopefully nobody was on the struggle bus like I was trying to get signed in. So welcome to the February Missouri Evergreen cataloging meeting. We are just going to jump in. And as I said, this should actually be a short meeting. It is mostly informational. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. I just wanted to give you all an update. So cataloging committee news, as we discussed last time, we do have a deduplication subcommittee. The deduplication subcommittee is, they're people working with Rogan from Equinox to do the big deduplication we are paying for with Equinox for a project. So we have had 2 meetings at this point. And so right now, the plan is to be completed with the project by April 2nd, hopefully before, like we get into a bunch of migrations coming in. And currently right now we're working on DVD matching using 700s, and Rogan has a script that he is testing out with us that is like parsing out names like in the 100s and the 700s for better match rates. And I think we are doing pretty good with that so far. So I will keep you updated as we keep working on that.
Liz,
Mm-hmm.
with the deduplication committee, I've been doing a lot of poking around with VHS holdings,
Yeah.
and only about a quarter of our libraries actually still have VHS holdings. And that's kind of been one of our fears, is that we're going to accidentally merge VHS and DVD. So there were some exclusions Rogan had put in. If we can remove those exclusions, we're going to be able to merge a lot more DVDs.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, if your library has VHS holdings, can you assess, maybe work with your director and assess, are those still really vital to your collection? I know a lot of people have a lot of local history that's still preserved on those VHSs, but if you're just circulating like Disney tapes or anything like that, to maybe assess whether those are actually really a circulating part of your system that needs to stay. We did away with all of our VHS about a year and a half ago, and really nobody has missed them. It's a dying technology, and yeah, that would just be, to me, that would make the dedupe process go a lot easier with fewer errors if we didn't have to be cognizant of VHSs.
That's absolutely a good idea. And to go along with that, I'm gonna write myself a note and watch me grab my pen. I will go ahead. I'll run a list and see how many VHS are just out there. Ron, did you do that already?
It was about 1,600 the last time I checked. And
Okay.
some of them, there were some libraries that theirs had come in wrong in the migration, different things like that. And there are a lot of VHSs that are just in there marked missing.
That's what I'm thinking too. I'm wondering how many are actually alive versus how many are just kind of there.
I had it written down at one point, and I don't know that I still do. I'm feeling like maybe out of that 1,600 I saw, maybe only a quarter to half were actually available to circulate.
That sounds probably reasonable. I'll run a couple lists on those, and then deduplication, we'll talk about that. And then I may get back to everybody as a whole and we'll talk about VHSs, because as Ron said, nothing currently is coming out on VHS and hasn't for a while. So, and I think even if people have some live and sitting in their libraries, they may not even know they're there, because they do tend to look like a book if they're, hiding in there in that shape. So we'll talk about that, because that would be really helpful with deduplication. Okay, moving right along. Okay, so I have scheduled the regional trainings to take place in 2026. You'll see the first one coming up is March 6th, so that is less than a month from now, and that will be at West Plains Public Library, of course, in West Plains, Missouri. After that, we will be in Chillicothe at Livingston County on March 13th. On March 20th, we will be at Trails Regional Library in Warrensburg. Then April 3rd, we'll be at Scenic Regional Library. And then lastly, on May 8th, we'll be at Cedar County Library in Stockton. So there are links here where you can register for the event. A reminder again, please register even if it's your home library because we use that for counting for food and everything else. So even if it's your home library, please do register so we can get a accurate head count for everybody.
Liz, there's a question in the chat. Rhoda
Mhm.
asked, what if the VHS is in the archives?
I mean, if it's legitimate, like in the archives, that's fine. I don't know if there's a world in which we could get rid of all VHS tapes because there's going to be something important on one, local history archive, something like that. But just getting rid of the ones that like really, you know, popular movies on VHS, are those really popular? Do people really own VHS players anymore? Archives, I expect there's some be some still living in archives and genealogy. That's just we can't help that.
I would really suggest that if you do have them in your archives and they're important historical relics to your library, that you go look to see how degraded the tape has gotten. And
That's
if it's
true
still
too.
salvageable, it might be time to look at a way to get those transferred to another medium.
I hadn't even thought about that. Even if they're sitting there, VHS are one of those things where they're made with some cellulose. Is that what it is? And they will degrade over time. So if you have VHS and you're like, oh, it's there and we have it, you may want to look at it. When I was at SEMA, we got rid of the VHS collection we had there, and we ended up only keeping one very important. I put that in air quotes. Very important for the ag department. Sarah's laughing because she was there. The purple cow video, don't ask me, but it was like the one VHS we had, and every year they came and checked out the purple cow video. And we're trying to figure out how to put that on a different media so it could survive into the future. So Ron's right. So please, that's another thing. You might want to look at your VHS tapes. So, but again, some libraries might have that not have the means to transcribe them onto something else. We get it, but having fewer is always the goal in this situation. Topics for regional trainings. So regional trainings are really, people always ask me if they're for basic catalogers, if they're for advanced catalogers. They're for everybody. I just kind of make the agenda for the day off of the questions I've gotten them asked the most throughout the year and any big changes we've made. So of course, this year we are going to probably talk about, the new merge rules, but also any number of things. If you have something specific that you're like, I think we should really talk about this at regional training, please email me. I'm happy to include topics that you guys suggest. Otherwise, I'm just kind of pulling them out of my email and, whatever. So okay, you're moving right along. So this is the one thing that's not as informational as the other things today. So we have a catalogers breathe fire. So we have a bug today. I'm gonna go ahead and click on it. I'm trying to, Kate and Sarah and I, is this where this bug came from? The other day we were talking about, no, was this in deduplication committee? I don't remember where this bug came from. But we were talking about how wouldn't it be nice if we could require a circ mod, like when you are filling out and adding items, because you need to be adding a circ mod. It's one of the things that really is required, but it doesn't require it in the sense that it won't let you save it without choosing one. But there is a bug for that. So if you would, please go in and add heat to this bug, wherein they would go in and fix this and make it so that like when you were making a new item, it would make you add the circ mod before you close and you were unable to save it without creating one. That would just help everybody in life. It helps with circulation policies. It's just a thing that we should be doing, but human error is one of those things that gets forgotten. So that is our bug today. And let's see, let's click back out of there. Oh, moving right along. Okay, so a reminder again that we are upgrading. The test server has been upgraded. We are upgrading to 3.15, which will include 3.14. We always like to stay one little step behind, so we're not on the newest cusp of upgrades, but just slightly behind. So several things have changed. I think the one that people notice the most when they go in and look at the test server is that there is a light and dark mode now, because that's the most like obvious if it happens to be in dark mode when you log in. But there are several things in there. The one I really would like everyone to go around and poke around and look at before the upgrade are what they are calling Angular record buckets. And I will log in and show you what I mean by that. Hopefully, I was thinking, don't make me two-step authenticate, but this doesn't do that. So thank God for that. Okay, so I'm in the test server and I'm talking about, and it's just the record buckets. It's not happening to item buckets as of yet. So if you go under cataloging in the test server and you click on record buckets, this is what it looks like now. That's what they mean by Angular. Okay, so you have my buckets highlighted up here. These are my buckets. I had a bunch of temporary buckets I had created, and there were like 100 and something buckets in there that I had to go in and delete. But this is what I mean by Angular buckets. They don't look the same as they used to, where we had to choose from the drop down and choose the bucket and it pulled up that bucket. Just want you to look at this first so you don't get in. So they don't upgrade the server and then you go in to use the bucket and you're like, oh God, what happened? This is what happened with these. Otherwise, they generally work the same. It's just, it does look starkly different when you go in. Let's close out of there. Okay. Moving right along again. Let's see. Oh, the CAN committee has released a local admin manual. It is absolutely fantastic. If you guys have not seen this, I know CERC committee mentioned it. I know a big email had gone out, but it is huge, like 119 pages, guys. And this thing has fantastic directions, written out directions. It has screenshots. I used this twice last week already. So please bookmark this and use this. This is like invaluable, like for it all being in one place now. And they did, I know they had to work very hard to get this. I know how hard writing directions are, and screenshotting things seems really easy, but this was a labor of love. So please go in, please look at this, please use this. It's just, it's really great. It's really great to have this. So I just wanted to remind everybody of that.
Liz, Heather made a good point in the chat, and she says, make sure the names of any of your shared buckets are suitable for a wider audience, since lots of folks can see them.
That
Which
is true.
Good point, Salad.
I didn't think of that. I haven't named my buckets anything spicy, but do be aware now that people like can't see your buckets in that way. If they are shared buckets and they'll go in and be visible, don't name them something that you wouldn't necessarily want your grandmother to read, or other libraries or something. Mine are all generally mundane, but now I just want to name something spicy just so people see it. But that's just me being me. Okay. Oh, permissions project. So we all know this project has been going on quite a while. So this was the project to get rid of one-off permissions that had been being added to library users, and also to kind of get the permissions for cataloging in line with certification. And this project, I know it's been taking a long time, but there are a lot of moving pieces that are happening. So we are finally at a place where we are really moving forward. CERC has gotten their part, and we're kind of going along with the dates of CERC committee now, so that we can kind of do one big push. So our structure update is going to update in the test server on February 18th. And then it will go live in the regular server March 16th. So that means there will be a month there where we can, log into the test server and make sure we can still do everything that we need to do with our accounts, make sure nothing has happened that's unexpected. But permissions project is moving along, and we are going to see the changes coming shortly. I feel with the deduplication project happening and migrations and everything, we're gonna have a very busy spring here. So it's a lot of, hey guys, this is happening, but please pay attention to these as we keep saying them, because there's a lot of stuff happening at this point. As far as catalog permissions, you shouldn't notice a difference. It should just very seamlessly replace the old structure with the new structure. But that doesn't mean, we know how that goes. We know how, best laid plans, something always goes slightly awry. So there could be people that we need to go in and change their permissions. That's fine. But that's why we are rolling it out February 18th. So in about 9 days, and giving everybody a month to look at it, just to be sure, so that when it hits the live server, there are no big issues. All right. We really are going to have a short meeting, guys. I have so much confidence here. So users conference. The users conference is coming up. It is on Friday, April 24th. It will be in Columbia at the Stony Creek Hotel and Conference Center. Registration is now open. These weren't highlighted blue, which confused me, but I did actually link them. So you can link out to register and also to book a room. We have a room block. So if you register for a room, it's slightly cheaper than if you were to register without the room block. So if you are coming, please be sure to register and book your room so you get the discounted rate. Cataloging has put in to do a Ask Me Anything presentation. So it's not really one specific topic. It's for anybody to bring questions, problems, and then we will talk about anything you guys want to. So that's what we plan on doing. If our presentation is accepted, I assume it will be, but not like this, who knows? So besides regional trainings, we may also see a bunch of you at users conference. So sign up if you want to attend. Any questions or comments about things that we have talked about thus far? Deduplication. Okay. The only thing really today I have in cataloging discussion is a reminder about listserv etiquette. And this is just be nice to each other in the listserv, guys. Whether you're talking to the entire listserv or you're talking individually to other catalogers, please be polite. And if need be, bring in myself or people from the cataloging committee if you have questions. And be aware that things always do just kind of come back to us if things are being said, even if you're not talking to the whole listserv. Somebody is generally coming back and telling the CAT committee or myself what is going on. So just be nice. The listserv is there to help everybody out, and we want everybody to feel comfortable using the listserv and asking questions and getting feedback. So we just want to be a nice place for everybody. So that's just a reminder for this meeting. I don't feel like we talk about that maybe ever, but it's just every now and then we probably should. So this really is a short meeting. It is only like 11:20 by my clock, 11:19. And I'm already at the part where next month we will see you on March 9th, same bat time, same bat channel. Do we have any questions about anything we've discussed today or anything that you would just like to talk about while you have us here?
Marianne asks in the chat, is there any update on the larger print paperback merge? And then Dolly wants to ask a quick question.
What update are we looking for? Larger print paperback merge. So the larger prints don't go on large print, they go on regular print if they could, but generally they can't, so they're probably going to be by themselves, is what we're probably thinking. Is that the update we were talking about? Because they're an anomaly. They aren't large print by standard that we can call them large print in the catalog. They're a larger print than the regular print, and so that may exclude them from page numbers and size getting left off those records if we were to merge.
Right. I was going with those one guidelines that you first gave out saying that they could go on there. So I didn't ever hear back of what it's so, like those don't really match the page.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
They could, if they were to, be within the parameters of page number and size, they could go on a regular print. But the reality is they probably won't.
Right. Okay.
Because of that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. No problem.
Dolly, did you have a question? She said she's wondering about items in my reference genealogy section are cataloged under an old format that isn't in my dropdown. Do these need to be moved to a current dropdown?
What format are they under currently? And I would say probably, I would probably move them over just for cleanup's sake. If it's not something that you can choose now and have you be using that format, I would probably move them over to something that's, more updated, more appropriate for your collection's sake. but the old ones aren't necessarily wrong. It's just, I wouldn't necessarily leave them out there by themselves if you're not assigning that to new items, if that makes sense.
Said she's trying to remember, but it was last week, but it was like newsletters or something.
Mm,
It
okay,
does make
yeah,
sense. So she said it does
okay.
make sense, your
Yep,
explanation.
yep. So if you have any more questions on that, feel free to email me and I can help you with that, or, give you some advice. But yeah, I would change them just so that the collection is more like fluid, more together, but they're not wrong per se if they came in that way. Okay. Anybody else have any more questions? Okay. Well, it is 11:22. We actually did have a short meeting today, so congratulations, guys. I will give you about 40 minutes of your life back. So we will see you next month, March 9th at 11 a.m. And so have a good day and the rest of the week, guys. We will see you on the listserv.